our wholesale certified dealers, and then really simplifying the program as we get into 2021. With that being said, all the documentation we have today will be on the dealer site. And then also what we're adding this week on the dealer site is a recording of the presentation. So if you miss something, you can always get the recording, go backwards and see it. So with that being said, I will pass it to Mike Farrell, who will take us through the slides and then the best ball approach. And then we'll come back at the end and discuss a little bit. And then we will open it up next week for dealer feedback and questions. And we'll be live again answering any questions that the dealer body will have. So Mike, with that, I'll pass it on to you.
Thanks, Sir John. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mike Farrell, and my team has responsibility for launching Dealer Rewards. Excited to roll out the new program to you today. We're going to talk through a lot of details about the program, metrics, timing of metrics, all important details that you need to know about the program. But before we jump in and introduce some of the new metrics, I'd like to go through the Dealer Rewards launch calendar so that you have a solid understanding of how the discount will work over the next few months. So we'll start with January, which is not actually on the calendar, but your January discount is based on your outbound sales objective and your outbound and your qualified month of December. So in January, there's really no change because it's all based on the old Dealer Rewards program. When we move ahead to February and March, both of those months are best ball months, meaning you're going to have 3 opportunities to earn the highest Dealer Rewards discount possible. So let me walk through February first. You'll have 3 opportunities to earn the highest number. Whichever one is highest, we'll give you that number. So your first opportunity is your January discount. That's what you're earning now, and that's based on, as I mentioned before, December outbound sales and December qualifiers, and that's based on the old program. That's opportunity number 1. Opportunity number 2 is an average of the discount that you earned in November, December, and January. Again, all 3 based on the old program. But that's the second opportunity, just an average of what you earned in November, December, and January. And we wanted to do that just in case your December didn't turn out like you wanted it to. But those first 2 options are both based on the old Dealer Rewards program. The third opportunity in February is your February discount based on what you earn on the new program. Of course, your February discount is going to be based on your outbound sales and your qualifiers during the month of January. Around the first of the year is when we flip to the new Dealer Rewards program. And so your third opportunity is the February discount that you earn based on the new Dealer Rewards program. So of all 3 opportunities in February, whichever number is the highest is the number that will apply to your February discount. It'll work similarly in the month of March. Again, in March, you'll have 3 opportunities. First one is your January discount based on December outbound sales and December qualifiers based on the old program. Second opportunity is an average of your November, December, and January discount, again, based on the old program. And then the third opportunity is your March discount that you earn on the new program. And of course, that'll be based on your February outbound sales and qualifiers. So again, in March, whichever of those 3 numbers is the highest is the discount that will apply to March. And it's not actually till April when we completely flip over to the new program. In April, your discount will be paid based on your March outbound sales target and qualifiers. And again, that will be based entirely on the new program. So all in all, we've launched this new Dealer Rewards program, but you effectively have 3 months to ramp up to it before we start applying the discount only toward the new program. So in January, February, and March, you'll have the opportunity to earn based on the old program if that discount's higher, or if we're able to get the new processes in place for the new program and earn a higher discount on the new program, we'll apply that in February or March based on those best ball scenarios that I just went over. So take home message here is, yes, we've launched the new Dealer Rewards program, but you effectively have 3 months to ramp yourself up to it so that you can adjust to the some of the new qualifiers that we'll walk through very shortly. So this is an overall summary view of the Dealer Rewards program. The content that I'm going to go over is actually pages 3 through 7 of the new Dealer Rewards brochure. And we made that available to all dealers at the end of December, so it's out there and available for you to review. And again, it's going to be pages 3 through 7 of that brochure. As I talk through the new metrics, a lot of time I'll compare to the old program because most or all people on the call are familiar with the old Dealer Rewards program, and so some of the metrics have been carried over. And so as I talk about the new metrics, I'll kind of compare how it relates to the old program. So let's begin with the prerequisite qualifiers. In the new program, we'll have loyalty at 90%. That's exactly the same as loyalty was in the old program. No changes to loyalty. The same is true with ARO compliance at 92%. Same in the new program as it was in the old program. We are adding a third prerequisite qualifier. It's maintenance penetration. The target for that is going to be at or above $65. And it's based on 6 components: tires, oil, brakes, filters, batteries, and wipers. You don't care how you get to the $65, and that's a little bit different than the old program. In the old program, we had specific penetration numbers tied to tires and oil. We're getting rid of that in the new program. It's just a flat $65 target, and you can choose any combination of the 6 components that you'd like to get there. And it's based on purchases, not outbound sales, but maintenance penetration is based on net purchases. It applies to both Mopar purchases and MOBM purchases. So overall, 3 prerequisite qualifiers. No change to loyalty, no change to ARO compliance, but maintenance penetration is the new one. We'll go into a little bit more detail on how we calculate it and how you can track your progress toward working toward that $65 target each month. Next, I'll go through the 5 qualifiers. The first one I'll cover is customer convenience. So we're asking dealers to hit 4 out of 5 of those sub-qualifiers, as we call them. And so let's kind of dig in a little bit to those sub-qualifiers. First one is WideVisor. WideVisor will work the same in the new Dealer Rewards program as it did in the old Dealer Rewards program, with a small change. Our WideVisor utilization in the new program is 75%. Compared to 70% in the old program. So just a slight increase on the utilization target for WideVisor in the new program, but it'll work the same way. Then the second sub-qualifier is online scheduling. In order to be eligible for this, you have to be a WideVisor dealer. And this is a pretty simple qualifier to turn on. You just have to enable online scheduling. It's a one-time flipping on of the switch one time, and then it'll be on. It will stay on going forward each month. And the same is true with mobile check-in. Again, for mobile check-in, you have to be a WideVisor dealer. And it's a one-time thing where you flip the switch on, and then it'll carry forward on going forward each month in Dealer Rewards. The fourth sub-qualifier I'll cover is Express Lane. And Express Lane will work exactly the same way in the new program as it did in the old program. No changes. And then the fifth and final is CAFAFI. CAFAFI will work the same way in the new program as it did in the old program, so no changes to that. So overall, for customer convenience, we're asking dealers to hit 4 out of 5. And if you're a WideVisor dealer, it shouldn't be too difficult, as long as as long as your utilization on WideVisor is at or above 75%, because you just have to flip the switch on one time for online scheduling and mobile check-in, and then hit either Express Lane or CAFAFI, and then you're at 4 pretty easily. And now we realize not all dealers are on WideVisor, and so for that reason, we are offering a convenience metric override, and that override is if your first-year retention score is within the top quartile of your business center, or the top 25% of your business center. So if that's true, if your first year retention is within the top 25% of your business center, we will provide an override for that customer convenience qualifier. The second qualifier I'd like to cover is MVP. In the old dealer rewards program, we had an MVP metric, but we're going to expand out the scope of that qualifier in the new program. So in the old program, the MVP qualifier was LOF contracts, that's lube oil filter contracts that were sold in the service drive only. In the new program, we're expanding the MVP qualifier to include all contracts except for CPOV base, so certified pre-owned vehicle base contracts. And we're including both the service lane and the F&I office in terms of the channel. So both channels count toward achieving the target of $275 for the new MVP qualifier. We'll get into a little bit more detail on how that's calculated and how we can track it over time. The third qualifier is enrolled customer target. And this is a new concept to dealer rewards, a brand new concept. And so what we're basically trying to do with enrolled customer is get as many customers as possible to sign up for a Mopar.com account when they buy or lease a new vehicle. And so there are two types of vehicles that we have. We have connected vehicles, and those are vehicles where we can connect the customer's account to the head radio unit. And we also have non-connected vehicles. And the process will be a little bit different, whether it's a connected vehicle or non-connected vehicle. But at the end of the day, we're asking the dealer to help that customer connect and enroll with a Mopar.com account for each new vehicle that's sold during the month. And so we'll get into a little bit more detail on that one in the slides ahead. The fourth qualifier is accessory rewards PNUR target. And this is similar in concept to the old dealer rewards program with one change. In the old dealer rewards program, our PNUR target was a flat target. So 300 or 325, 350, whatever the target was in the old program. In the new program, we're going to adjust the PNUR target up or down based on the vehicle sales mix. So for example, some vehicles have a better opportunity to accessorize because there are more accessories available on that vehicle. For example, the Wrangler and the Ram 1500, both vehicles have a much better opportunity to put accessories on those vehicles. And so if your vehicle sales mix contains more of those two vehicles, then your PNUR target for accessories might be a little bit higher. And then similarly, if you sell more, say, Cherokees and Grand Cherokees, your PNUR target would be a little bit lower because there's just not as much of an opportunity to put accessories on those vehicles. And so instead of having a flat accessory PNUR target, it'll be dealer-based, based on your vehicle sales mix. The fifth and final qualifier that I'd like to go through is service retention. And for service retention, we have one of four options in order to hit this qualifier, and only one out of the four have to be true. And so the first one is if your first year retention is at 60%, that's your first opportunity. Second one is whether your first year retention improved 3 points year over year. So for example, if your first year retention is 53% this year and it was 50% last year at this time, then you would receive credit because you improved by 3 points or more. Third opportunity for service retention is you have to beat your BC average, so just be higher than the average in your BC. And the fourth opportunity is if your total market retention beats the BC average. So if any one out of four of those conditions is true, then you'll receive credit for the service retention qualifier. Okay, a lot of information there, but that's a summary of the program and some of the new qualifiers. And what we'll do in the next few slides is dig in a little bit more to learn more about how the qualifiers work in terms of the detailed calculations. We'll start out with the prereqs. So as I mentioned before, loyalty was 90% in the old program, remains at 90% in the new program, no changes there. ARO compliance, 92 in the old program, 92% in the new program, no changes. The new prereq that we need to talk a little bit about is maintenance penetration. As I mentioned before, it's based on purchases, net purchases, It's a rolling 3-month metric. And if we look at how it works and how we can track it, the denominator or the bottom is the total number of FCA VINs. So this metric should be familiar. It was part of a few metrics in the old Dealer Rewards program. So what we'll do is in our example calculations, we pretend it's January. So when we look at the unique FCA VIN count, we look at October, November, and December, and our total is 976. So when the month of January starts, we lock in our denominator. It's going to stay at 976. But in the numerator, we're going to include November, December, and January. So this will give an opportunity to, as the month of January goes by, you'll be able to track to see how you're doing relative to that $65 target. Because we lock in the denominator, you'll know how many dollars you need in order to hit that $65 target. And so as the days go by in January, you can track and see how you're doing relative to that target of $65. But we set it up specifically this way to make the number easier to track so that you know exactly how many dollars you need in terms of purchases to hit that $65 target. Next, we'll go through the convenience metric. As I mentioned before, we need to hit 4 out of 5 of the convenience metrics. And so the first sub-qualifier is Y-Advisor utilization, no change compared to the old Dealer Rewards program, with the exception that the utilization rate is up a little bit. We're going to launch at 75%, and the current utilization in the old program is 70%. So a slight increase in the utilization target is the only change. The second sub-qualifier is Y-Advisor online scheduling certification. Again, the dealer must be enrolled in Y-Advisor. If you are, the dealer just needs to flip this to on, and then they will receive credit going forward in the Dealer Rewards program. Third sub-qualifier is Y-Advisor mobile check-in. Again, the dealer must be enrolled in Y-Advisor for that one. And that's just, again, a one-time installation. And once it's installed, it will carry forward each month in the Dealer Rewards program. The fourth qualifier is Express Lane operations, and no change to the Express Lane operations qualifier in the old program compared to the new program. And then the fifth and final sub-qualifier is CAFAFI, and again, no change in the new program compared to the old program. So overall, we're asking the dealers to hit 4 out of 5. We are last point is, I mentioned this before, we're offering an override for the convenience metric. And that override is your first year retention score. And we're asking the dealer to be in the top quartile or the top 25% of the business center. And then they'll receive an override. This is all automatically calculated in the new Dealer Reward system, so there's no manual tracking or anything like that needed. It's built into the system. It's available and visible on Dealer Connect. I'll have to walk through the new MVP qualifier. As I mentioned before, we are expanding out the scope for MVP. Previously, the MVP qualifier only included LOF contracts and the service drive. In the new Dealer Rewards program, we're going to include all MVP revenue except for CPOV-based contracts. And this applies to contracts sold both in the service drive and the F&I office. This is going to be a rolling 3-month metric with a target of $275. And it'll work the same way that Maintenance Pen did, where we're going to lock in the denominator. So again, we're going to pretend it's January. We're going to look at the vehicle sales for October, November, and December. Lock in that 280 number. The top will be 3 months of revenue, November, December, and January. And so as the month goes by, because we're locking in the denominator, you'll understand how many more dollars of contracts need to be sold in order to hit that target of 275. And this data will update daily in the Dealer Connect system, so we can track it on a daily basis to see how we're doing relative to the target. The next qualifier is enrolled customer. Again, this is a new concept in the new Dealer Rewards program. For this metric, we're going to launch at a target of 70%. And as I mentioned, we include both connected and non-connected vehicles. Connected vehicles allow the customer account to be connected directly to the head radio unit. If the vehicle is a non-connected vehicle, then we're asking that the customer enrolls in a Mopar.com account. So slightly different process depending on whether the vehicle is connected or non-connected, but they will both count toward the overall qualifier for enrolled customer. And then total vehicles sold is the denominator, and this is just the current month metric, so just a 1 month at a time metric. Next, we'll talk about the new accessory rewards outbound sales, PNUR. Previously, as I mentioned, we had a flat target, $300 or $350. In the new dealer rewards program, the dealer will be assigned an individual target based on vehicle sales mix, and that will be determined ahead of time. But the way this metric will work, it's a current month metric, and the denominator is retail vehicle sales target. So that will be predetermined before the month starts. So once again, we'll lock in the denominator of 50, and then each accessory that's sold during the month will go towards the numerator. And so again, you can track on a daily basis to see how you're doing relative to the target. And the fifth and final is first year retention. In the illustration here, we illustrate the target of 60%. You actually have 4 chances to hit first year retention. The first one is if your first year retention is above 60%. So we just walk through how first year retention is calculated. It's going to be a 12-month rolling metric. And so let's pretend it's January. We'll look at the number of customers serviced between December 2019 and November 2020. And then our denominator is retail plus lease vehicles that were sold in November of 2019, less fleet. So we're kind of locking in the sales, and then we're going to track for the next year to see if those customers came back. We'll actually track these customers based on labor operation codes. So it includes customer pay ROs, it'll include internal ROs, free oil changes. It's all, we have a great system to track whether the customer came back. Again, it's based on LOB codes, so we're confident that the dealers will get proper credit for all the customers that come back to the dealership. And so the first, as I mentioned before, the first option is first year retention at 60%. The second option is a 3% increase year over year. So if you're at 56% this year and you're at 53% last year, you would get credit. The third option is to beat the BC average in your BC. And then the fourth and final option is to beat the BC average for total market retention. So if any one of 4 of those conditions are true, then the dealer will receive credit for first year retention. Okay, a lot of information, a lot of metrics. Let's talk about the new discount system and how the metrics work toward achieving that discount. So the minimum program qualifications that we're asking in order to earn a discount are loyalty at 90%, ARO at 92%, maintenance pen at $65 or more per VIN, and for the dealer to hit 3 out of the 5 qualifiers. In the old dealer rewards program, the max discount possible was 9%. In the new dealer rewards program, the maximum discount possible is actually 10%. So let me give you an example of how that can happen. If the dealer is at 110% of their sales objective or more, and they hit 5 out of 5 qualifiers, they would earn 9%. And then if the dealer is wholesale certified, it could be wholesale mechanical certified or wholesale collision certified, either one. The dealer's wholesale certified, then they get an extra point on top of the 9% for a total of 10%. And And the same would apply if the dealer earned, say, 7% because they hit 4 out of 5 qualifiers and they were at 100% or more of the sales objective. Assuming the dealer is wholesale certified, they would earn an additional point for a total of 8%. So they actually earned 7, but because they're wholesale certified, they would earn 8%. The same is true with the hit and win. So let's talk about the 5% hit and win. This is for dealers that are at least $850,000 in outbound sales. If the dealer hits the minimum program qualifications, all 3 prereqs, and then 3 out of 5 qualifiers, they would get a 5% hit and win discount. And assuming that dealer is wholesale certified, they would come in at 6%, 5% plus the additional 1% discount for wholesale certification. Same is true for the 4% hit and win discount. If the dealer's at 500,000 in outbound sales or above, and they hit the minimum qualifications, they would earn 4%. Assuming they're wholesale certified, they would actually earn 5%. So one of our goals of the new program was to provide a more consistent discount paid out month to month. And so by adding the additional point for wholesale certified dealers, we sort of enable that to happen. Last thing I'd like to talk about is the how RSL and truckload and WD transaction are handled within the Dealer Rewards program. So we'll start out in 2020. In 2020, RSL and truckload transactions were excluded from the Dealer Rewards outbound sales objective, as well as the sales that went towards achieving that objective. Beginning in 2021, WD or wholesale distributor transactions will be added to that list of exclusions as well. So what we mean is, starting in 2021, RSL, truckload, and WD transactions will be excluded from both the Dealer Rewards objective and the sales that go toward achieving that objective. Again, this is another change you wanted to make the consistency, to create more consistency in discount paid month to month. If we exclude those WD transactions, then the target is not so lumpy each month. It's more consistent, so it's easier to hit a more consistent discount earned. And then the final thing I'll say is all of the new Dealer Rewards program has been launched. The new metrics are available to track in January in Dealer Connect, in the same spot they were in the old Dealer Rewards program. So all the reporting has been set up. There is detailed reporting available, and it's all right there in Dealer Connect. So we're excited about the new program, and excited to see what it'll be able to do for your business. So thanks for having me on today. And Sir John, I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you, Mike. Truly appreciate your time taking the dealers through this. One thing that I just want to say is I hope everybody sees the progress. It took us since summer of last year working with National Dealer Council and our Mopar Masters to really go after the metrics to help customer retention and penetration, to help dealers and Mopar as one. So I hope you guys see the wholesale certification of 1% there. We will come together again next week. There's going to be meetings going out this week, to come out next week to discuss any questions. But if there's questions, please work with your field, your area managers. I know the business centers are gonna send forms for any questions we can answer ahead of time. And as I was talking about the recordings are live on the dealer site as of right now. Under the dealer site, if you select your Dealer Rewards where the brochure is, the videos are there that you can play and go through the information. So thank you